Hello, my name is Emily and I'm with Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee, and today we are making lentil chili. So we're going to start off by chopping up our vegetables. So we're going to start with one large onion. So whenever you have your onion, you want to make sure to take off the brown part and give it a good wash. And so we just cut off the ends and discarded those and then cut it into half, so that our onion can lay flat on our cutting board. So now we're just going to take it and cut little slits almost like 3/4 of the way up the onion, and then take it the other way and chop it that way. So we'll go ahead and do that. And whenever you're cutting, you do want to make sure you're aware of where your fingers are. So take it the other way. Okay, now we have this piece and we're going to turn it down. And we're going to do the same thing with our other onion. Okay, and so before you begin, you also want to make sure that you've washed your hands like we did, as well as make sure that your counter space is clear of any kind of clutter and free of any debris. And so you do want to wash it and sanitize it. So we're going to add this to our pot, which has 1 tablespoon of canola oil in it. And so this is on medium-high heat, so we're just going to let it saute a little bit. So you want to wait until your onions are a clear color, and then that's when you know that they're good. Okay, so now we're going to take 3 carrots. So with carrots, before I began, I washed them. So you do want to take a scrub brush like this and make sure that you scrub all of the dirt and grime from them. So I'm going to cut off the ends of the carrots and discard those. And now you can take 1 carrot at a time, 2 carrots at a time, whatever works best for you. I'm just going to do these 2 because they're big, and then just slice them into slices. And I always like to start with the big part of the carrot first, just because it gets easier as you go down. So I like to get the hard part over with. So these are kind of big, so I'm going to cut them a little bit more, but you don't necessarily have to, but it's just going to decrease the time that it takes to cut or to make sure that your vegetables are nice and soft. So that's why I'm just going to go ahead and give them a little bit of a rough chop. So they don't have to be precise, but just into small bite sizes. And carrots are great because they have vitamin A, which is good for your eye health. They also help with your immunity, so they're just, in general, a great vegetable. And then once they're cooked, they actually have a little bit of a sweeter flavor. So we're going to go ahead and add these to our pot with our onion. And last but not least, we are going to take our 3 stalks of celery. So again, we used our scrub brush to scrub off all of the dirt. And we're going to take them and we're going to cut both sides and then cut them into slices. And celery have a high water content. That's why they're always so crisp. So if your celery is ever kind of wimpy, then you know that it's lost some water and it's probably pretty old. So we're just going to let our vegetables go ahead and saute some. So you want to wait until they are, the onions start to become clear and that your other vegetables have turned a little bit soft. So not completely, because towards the end of this recipe, it'll finish cooking. So while that is cooking, we're going to go ahead and prep our lentils. So we just have a 1-pound bag of lentils that we got. And we have them in a colander and have rinsed these off, and we will be right back as soon as our vegetables have softened up a little bit, and then we'll start adding the rest of our ingredients. So now that our vegetables are nice and softened, we're going to add our lentils, and then we're going to add 1 can of tomatoes, 1 can of tomato sauce, and then 4 cups of chicken broth. And then last, we're going to add our spices. So we have 3 tablespoons of chili powder, and then 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and then 2 tablespoons of cumin, and then 1 tablespoon of paprika, and then 1 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you don't have one of these spices, that's okay. I think the most important is going to be your chili powder. So we're just gonna stir this until it's well combined. And then we're gonna crank up the heat. So I'm gonna put it on high, and so you want it to come to a boil. And then after it comes to a boil, then turn it down to a simmer, put the pot lid on, and let it simmer for around 30 minutes. And you do want to stir occasionally so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. But otherwise, you are good to go with your lentil chili recipe. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a wonderful day.